you afforded no rights under that act.
Okay.
So therefore, it's treated like you're trespassing.
Hello.
How you doing?
Surgeon?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just woke up this morning. They woke me up and then they told me that I have to leave.
Who's they?
The officers. On a paper that he received. And I haven't received that paper. It's Edo.
Pardon?
EDDO. Edo Simonetti.
Edo. How long you been here for?
2 years?
2 years?
Yes.
Okay. And where's Swanson?
That's me.
Oh, okay. All right.
You've never met the landlord before, right?
Yes, he's been here many times. It was the same thing. He asked my phone number. We talked. He knows that I live here. That lease that they even signed, that lease, I was, even before here, that lease was made. So they made a lease, a promptu lease, where before people were living here. That's not even, I don't think that even falls into the law. So that's
they're making leases.
Making leases, people already living in the house, and they made a lease. So he's been living here for 10 years.
You're not on
and that lease was signed 2019, handmade and signed the same day. So there was people in before leaving.
You don't need a lease, right? You can have anyone staying at your place. It's just you can't.
No, but the lease that they made.
Who's they? The landlord?
The landlord and him. It was signed in 2019. When what was previous, the whole people, everybody was living here before that lease.
No, I understand. I was saying you don't need a lease. All it does, the lease just kind of gives you and the,
there's also
a term of saying you're here for 1 year.
There's also a verbal contract between me and the landlord as well, because he knows that I live here,
which is now civil. But at the end of the day, you're still trespassing.
Right.
That's what I try to explain to you.
I don't think that I'm trespassing. I'm not. Because
I understand in the way, and I get what you're saying, because you've been living here. So in that sense, yes. I mean, you've had your own place, but now he's saying he wants you out.
Yes,
and you're saying that you're protected under the Residential Tenancies Act, which means you have to be notified and served. But that does not apply to you. Therefore, that process would not have to occur. It would literally be him or the landlord saying, yeah, I want him to leave now. And unfortunately, you'd have to leave.
Right, but the same contract that he has with the landlord is the same contract that I have, the verbal contract. Even though he made a lease in before, you can make a lease after.
Where is your contract between the landlord and yourself?
There was
That's my point.
Do you have it?
All right. So the same contract. Okay, the same contract that he had when I came to his house is the same contract that I had with the landlord.
Yep.
But they made another contract in before without telling anybody in the household.
But they don't have to tell anybody because there's no agreement between the landlord and you and this.
He was aware that everybody was living in this house. So you cannot make a separate contract because
whether he's aware of it or not. Whether he's aware of it or not, once pen is put to paper, that's different. Pen is put to paper between the landlord and this gentleman here.
He was living 10. Okay, so
he can live here 40 years. It doesn't matter. You don't need at least.
You cannot notify everybody in the house. You can make it. You can. I'm pretty sure that.
No, you can't.
You're not a tenant. You're a guest.
This is what I'm trying to explain.
That's what we're trying to tell you.
I was a tenant before.
You were never a tenant. You were never a tenant.
They would. Okay.
Well, I get what you're saying. You were a tenant, yes, but not under the Residential Tenancies Act. You were not, as a definition of a tenant. You're essentially a guy living here paying rent.
I think there's a conflicting. What I'm saying is you came here because he called you, but I think there's a conflicting laws. That's what's happening. It doesn't. I don't think it lays ground. Even that decision doesn't lay ground for me to be removed in a second.
So this is what I'm trying to explain to you.
Because there's a conflicting laws.
But this is where I try to explain to you several times.
Right.
That does not apply to you. That's exactly what it says. It says it does not apply to you. And it outlines the several reasons why. So all those protections that you're now quoting from that act do not apply to you.
I didn't even get served with the paper as well. No papers we served. I just woke up in the morning.
Can I speak to you, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not necessarily a serving of a paper. It's just basically the ruling of what happened, right? So you might get a copy. I would assume you would get a copy. But that in itself won't necessarily. It's not like an eviction order where we would serve.
The judge said that each party gets a decision.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Until that.
But just because you don't have one, that doesn't mean
that.
Well, I don't have.
Let's say if you don't give me a decision, I don't know my rights. I don't know what's going on.
Well, this is why we're here. And if you feel like you're being somehow we're violating your rights, there's a process to go through with that.
Sure, but I can assure you, I want to be in the comfort of my house to go through it. I don't want to be in the streets
But
because that's also
but this is
that's
what I'm
not how it
explaining
works.
to you.
Okay, it's a
But
delicate
it
subject.
works if you're.
I also have like habeas corpus rights, means that I have a right to be on the roof if I'm paying it. I'm paying my house. Yeah,
Where
it's
do
as
you-
vital
where
as
do
a
you talk
human being.
It is, but you
Because I
can't
already
live
paid
here.
for
So
it.
let me explain something to you. So you go to a buddy's
So already
house.
paid.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You have a house, and you invite a friend over and you pay him rent.
Right.
And now you say, I don't want this guy here anymore. You're saying that he is entitled to stay at your place regardless.
All right.
Is that what you're saying?
I've been paying for.
It doesn't
2
matter.
years,
I'm
I
asking you
already
that
have
question.
time.
If the guy's been paying rent and he's your
Right.
buddy, and you say, I don't want him in my house anymore, you're saying that he has rights to your place just because he paid rent?
Sorry, I don't know how to answer that question.
All right. How you doing?
Good, you,
So
sir?
you're a little stressed out about this, right?
Yes.
And I understand that.
Yes.
So I guess the officers explained a lot of this to you already, right?
Right.
Okay. So the situation is pretty clear. Okay. I understand that you think that you're a tenant here.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's no protection under the Landlord-Tenant Act for you, and I think it's clearly demonstrated. I guess you showed up to court as well for
Yeah.
the hearings and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I'm sure that this was all explained to you. Okay. So, as the officers I'm sure have explained to you already,
Okay.
you have no tenancy here. When you are renting a room from somebody in a place where you have shared facilities like a bathroom, a washroom, a shower, all those
Okay.
types of things, you're basically a limited guest, which means you stay here and you're maybe paying for staying here and stuff like that, but that he is not by definition your landlord. Okay? So
Okay.
at this point in time, because of that fact, and it's clearly in the rulings, let me finish,
Okay.
He's basically can say you have to leave at any point in time, and that is the unfortunate situation for you
Okay.
right now. Okay, so you being here after he's instructed you to leave is trespassing. Okay?
Okay.
So that is the legal point that we're at right now.
Okay.
Okay? Regardless of how much money you've paid him, regardless of how long you've been here, regardless of your conversation with the landlord, okay? I mean
Okay.
with the actual person that owns the place, okay? He is renting this
Okay.
whole unit from the landlord. The contract in this situation is between him, Timothy, and the person that owns the building. You're here under a relationship with him that you're going to rent a room. So it's basically a rooming house is how he's doing
There
it.
was also a verbal
Okay,
contract in before.
listen.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, the court has ruled, and I'm not going to suppose that I know more than what the courts do
Right.
in regards to a ruling, who's heard evidence, heard what you had to say, has the whole history of thing, the time that you got it on Craigslist, and all this stuff, right?
Okay.
So now he's calling us here, basically saying that he wants you out.
Okay.
Okay? So you do have to leave.
Okay.
That's non-negotiable.
Okay.
Okay? That's the reality situation. So what can we do to make this transition easier for you?
Okay. The thing is, like, what I'm concerned about is because in any like I explained to the officers, in any ruling of a civil matter, there's always going to be an appeal process.
Right.
When the decision doesn't take effect. That's what I'm trying to call the hotline, which is they're not open yet.
Okay.
So in before that, because I think there's a conflicting of the laws because I can go and call the hotline and they will submit an appeal process. In before
Okay.
I'm protected to the appeal process, which I know that in before I leave and then I come back, that's gonna be very uncomfortable when I'm trying to like in my uncomfortable house.
Okay.
And I'm trying to battle this because I don't think it's a
Well,
conflict of this.
that's fine. And
Yeah.
you have an opinion. You went
Right.
into the initial process thinking that you were good standing as well,
Right.
and that went against
There's
you.
also the last.
So-
sorry to interrupt. There's also the last month rent, which means that I paid him already for that. Meaning that
But-
if I leave, he owes me money
Okay, well,
because I'm not enjoying the profit. I'm not enjoying what I paid for anymore.
But the thing is
Right.
that would work out. That would work out for you if you were contractually a tenant, but you're not.
Yeah, but he owes me money.
That's you can go after him civilly for that.
right.
Okay.
No. Well,
Yes, that's when it
Okay.
becomes a civil matter.
All
Okay.
right.
Generally, in most cases like this, we're here to keep the peace.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when there is a ruling that has already ruled that that relationship is not there, okay, that he is not technically
Okay.
your tenant and there's no relationship that way, he can ask you to leave, and he has, and that's the situation that we're in right
I
now.
didn't even get.
Now,
Okay. Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So my understanding is probably you have a whole bunch of stuff upstairs.
Right.
All your stuff.
Right.
Okay. Do you have another place you can go?
No. Yeah. No. I don't have that arranged right now.
Okay.
So I'll be like out. I also still have three. I still have this month paid and January paid.
Okay, enough.
I still have the last month. Right?
That doesn't matter. That's
Yeah,
irrelevant.
but still, like my stuff until that is paid, my stuff is still gonna be there because
No,
I'm still paid for the room.
Technically, he can just throw it all out on the curb.
Not
Okay.
I already paid for my
It
stuff.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He has the right to terminate you being here at any point in time. That's the whole thing. That's what happens when you end up in a situation like this where you don't have protection of the Landlord and Tenant Act. And the judge has, or the justice of the peace has already ruled that you don't. You have no protection under it. And that's
Okay.
the unfortunate thing. Okay, I realize the situation that you're in.
Okay.
Okay, and I can sympathize with that.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's try to come to some kind of arrangement here
Yeah.
where, the last thing I want to do is throw you out on the street.
Okay.
Okay, so there has to be some type of way we're going to work this.
Well,
That's
I
gonna-
asked
Okay.
him. There's some kind of negotiation between
But listen-
me and Tim
Yeah,
because he's standing right there.
yeah.
And the last couple months, like he gave me a Christmas gift. So there's no
Okay.
poison. There's
Listen.
no poisoning any
Listen.
threat between each other.
I understand all
Right.
that, okay?
Right.
But I think from Timothy's point of view, there has to be some exit strategy for you. You
Okay.
can't just indefinitely stay here.
No,
And listen, with your
okay.
attitude, and if I was him, I would be a little bit concerned because your attitude is that I can stay here, I can stay here, I can stay here. And you don't seem to be accepting the fact that you can't legally if he wants you out.
No, I understand.
Do you understand what I'm
that.
saying?
Yes, I understand.
So I
that.
think there has to be something on his part
Okay.
where he sees that you're actively trying to get your stuff out
Yeah.
of here.
Okay, so
Okay.
that my
So,
yes.
But
what I think is,
but let
Yeah.
me also say this: that the grace period that would be given to you
yeah.
for that time would be at his discretion, not mine.
All right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's nothing legally obligating him to give you, 2 months to find a place.
Right.
He can technically say you're out and all your stuff goes out on the curb, and that's the end of it.
Right. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you end up going into an appeals process, that's one thing. But at this point in time, when did this ruling come down, Timothy?
December 24th.
December 24th, so it just happened.
Yeah, but I got it from the landlord tenant board yesterday.
Okay.
Did
Alright.
you get a mail or did you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Look, does that matter?
Even though, yeah,
It
even
doesn't
though I
matter.
didn't get my part.
It doesn't matter.
was not
I just
aware
read. I
at
just
all.
read it.
Okay.
Okay.
I need to go and call the. I need to go out this morning at the landlord tenant board. So throughout the day, I have to gather the resources, what I have, go
Okay.
there.
Okay. So from this point forward,
Right.
she's telling you that you do have to leave. So I'm gonna go speak to Timothy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And you start having to start to look for places. That's what you're gonna need to do.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but I mean that doesn't. At that point, then also there's like what I said that the keys that I did that I paid for those keys, as well.
What do you mean keys?
Like keys to my room, keys.
What do you
like,
mean you paid for
There's
them?
a lot
I don't
of
get that.
questions. Like what I mean.
There's not a lot of questions. What do you mean you paid for keys?
I mean. The keys to the house.
Yeah.
To get in, get out.
What about them?
Like that. There's a lot of things that I have questions about, like what is the stuff that is there that's paid, also, like
You're not even making sense right now. So explain to me what you're trying
like
to tell
last
me.
month, like you know what I mean, like last month, if you paying for something as well.
Okay,
like,
but
you
you
know-
don't understand something.
Yeah,
You
okay.
could have paid him for the whole year. He can throw you out at any point in time. That is the reality of the situation. It's unfortunate that these places like this exist. Okay, that puts you in this type of position. It's not something that I can change. I can't change the act to make the act cover rooming houses. That's all I can do is come to these things and do the best I can to keep the peace,
Yeah.
and if need be, enforce. That's it.
Okay.
But even then, there's some questions about that as well. Okay. So what you need to do is start wrapping your head around the fact that you will be leaving here if that's what he wants. I'm going to speak to Timothy and see what we can work out
Okay.
about timing and everything. Okay.
Okay.
And enforcement of it. Okay.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no question that you're not covered by the act. So you need to wrap your head around that.
Okay.
And I mean, if at any point in time you want to do the appeals process, that's something that you're going to do. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I have to
obviously.
call- I have to call
I'm
the
very
hotline,
comforted
yeah.
by the fact that I came in here and you guys are both sitting here.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to be that volatile of a situation. But But I would be concerned if I were him, if I was listening to you, and you kept going on and on about the fact that you have the right to be here, when in fact you do not legally have the right to be here.
I never said I had the
Okay.
right. It's just like there's a conflicting. Like,
Well, no, I don't think
because I never got a paper, so
It
I don't
doesn't
know where
matter.
I stand.
That doesn't
I'm
matter.
getting the news from you, right?
Yeah, that doesn't
That's
matter.
right.
The
So
point.
it's
The
like,
point
in
being.
my point of view, if you're putting myself in the shoes, you don't know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So.
So that is what's going on.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So let me talk to Timothy, and we're going to see if we can figure this out. Where yeah.
Timothy. Yeah. Do you want him to have a look at this, or?
He's welcome to.
Yeah.
He's welcome to.
Here you go. So I know you were saying that you wanted to attend the landlord and tenant tribunal for an appeals process, which you're more than welcome to do. I personally think that you'd be wasting your time though, because as you can see, the last page with the highlighted little pink section saying that the act doesn't apply to you, I honestly think you'd be wasting your time, but that's just my opinion.
Good to see you. Gotta call that no more.
If it's the landlord tenant board, they're not open on Saturdays.
Yeah.
They're open Monday through Friday,
Okay.
8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
So how are we gonna do this?
You're leaving.
Okay, so where's the grace period?
There's no grace period. You smashed that window. You broke that door. If you are still in this house, you're gonna just go and smash other windows, break other
No,
doors.
I won't. I need to go to Orlando and figure this out. I'll also have 3 days left. Plus, it's almost New Year's Eve.
So
And so it's already end of the month.
doesn't matter.
All
You
right.
can sue me for that. Once all of your stuff is out, I'm happy to refund the remainder minus the bell bill you never paid for those the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. If nothing gets broken, I don't have to. I can let you take me to court. I'll save you the trouble and I'll refund you those 4 days.
Okay, if nothing gets broken, can give me to tonight then?
Once all of your stuff is out of here
Yeah.
and you don't break anything, like you've broken that door, like you broke
Okay.
Peter's head,
I understand.
like
But
you broke that
Okay.
window, like you pulled a knife on me. If none of that type of stuff happens, you don't break anything, I'll refund you 4 days.
no, I mean just not the 4 days. Give me the whole day to figure out what's going on. It's nothing's gonna be broken or breaking. I'd either figure out.
You have a history of breaking things.
Okay. Can you give me a list to the end of the day? End of the day, so I can go
I
and
don't want
call.
you in the house because you're going to break things.
Charge him for the window.
Can you give me a list? Give me a promise. At the end of the day, I'll figure this out.
How many times have you promised me and not gone through?
Okay. This is not the moment. I mean, you clearly have the decision right there, which I have to figure out. So
You
have.
just read it. What do you have to figure out?
Well, I didn't get my I didn't get my side. So
I've
I'm
been
trying to figure it out.
I've been going to the landlord tenant board every day,
Okay.
so that when it's released, I could get it.
So you didn't get it. You didn't get it in the mail.
Because, for instance, what happened when the landlord tenant board sent the hearing? I received